In the vibrant setting of life, we often encounter individuals who seem to be wearing a perpetual smile, hiding the negative emotions beneath the surface. Today, we unravel the story of Pravina, whose persistent tears became the silent rainstorm that drenched her soul. Behind the laughter and the seemingly cheerful facade lies a journey of struggles, resilience, and the profound impact of crying persistently on one's mental well-being. So join us as we navigate Pravina's experiences, shedding light on the shadows that persistent crying can cast on one's psyche. Crying is a natural and complex emotional response that can have both positive and negative effects on the mind, depending on the context and individual factors. While crying can be an emotional release and help to relieve emotional stress, there are situations where excessive or prolonged crying may have negative effects on the mind. So how did crying persistently make things worse for Pravina?
I cried a lot, which did not help obviously. I think it just made me more depressed, made me exceptionally weak, made me have no self-confidence. I never looked at myself in the mirror for 1.5 years. I never put on makeup, I never bothered, never looked after myself in general.
Here are some potential ways in which crying emotionally might affect the mind negatively. 1. Physical exhaustion. Intense emotional crying can lead to physical exhaustion, as it involves the increased heart rate, rapid breathing, and even muscle tension. Prolonged emotional distress and crying may contribute to fatigue and a feeling of overall weakness. 2. Disrupted sleep. Emotional distress can disrupt sleep patterns, and excessive crying may make this worse. Lack of quality of sleep can negatively impact cognitive function, mood, and overall well-being. 3. Stress hormones. Crying during periods of intense emotional distress can trigger the release of stress hormones such as cortisol. Chronic elevation of stress hormones may contribute to long-term negative effects on mental health, including anxiety and depression. 4. Social consequences. Excessive crying may lead to social consequences such as embarrassment or even isolation. This can contribute to feelings of shame, low self-esteem, and even sense of alienation. 5. Negative thought patterns. Prolonged emotional distress and crying can sometimes reinforce negative thought patterns and rumination. This may make it even more challenging for an individual to break out of a cycle of negative thinking and move towards a more positive mindset. 6. Physical symptoms. Excessive crying can be associated with physical symptoms such as headaches, muscle tension, and GI issues. These physical symptoms can contribute to an overall sense of discomfort and even exacerbate the negative impact on the mind. 7. Interference with problem solving. Intense emotional distress and crying may temporarily interfere with cognitive functions and make it difficult for individuals to think clearly and problem solving effectively. It is important to note that the impact of crying on the mind can vary from person to person, and the context in which the crying occurs is crucial. In many cases, crying can be a healthy and adaptive response to emotional challenges, helping individuals to process and cope with difficult experiences. However, if someone is consistently experiencing negative effects from their emotional responses, it may be beneficial for them to seek support from friends, family, or even professional mental health services.